This is the High School Football America podcast for January 16th, 2020. I'm Jeff Fisher. Today we head to South Carolina to announce the winner of our National Coach of the Year award. We do the award in conjunction with the National High School Coaches Association. This year's winner is a guy that is heading into his fifth decade as a high school football coach. Dutch Fork's Tom Knotts is the winner. He's already talking about a fifth straight South Carolina High School Football State Championship. This past season, the Silver Foxes won the Class 5A championship 4 in a row, and they finished number 11 in the High School Football America 100 national rankings. Also, Dutch Fork placing in Max Prep's Excellent 25 at number 9, and in the USA Today Super 25 at number 15. Knotts began his coaching career in 1981. He's now won 12 overall high school football state championships. You may recall his time at Independence High School in North Carolina, winning 6 titles there, and has the second longest all-time high school football win streak, the longest actually in public high school football, 109 straight. When he was at Independence, he won 6 championships there. He also won a 1995 North Carolina State Championship at West Charlotte High School, and he has an overall record of 415 wins, 64 losses, and 1 tie, 12-5 in state championship games, and coaches on the line right now to talk about an incredible 2019 season. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Well, thank you, and appreciate the honor and the recognition for our players and our team and our all of our coaches in our community. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about all of those things as we go through, and we'll probably hold the big question about what it means to win this type of honor. But let's kind of talk a little bit about what you've built there at Dutch Fork. As I mentioned, 4 championships in a row. I think it's 5 in 10 years for you there. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that you did back once you left Independence in North Carolina and came to Dutch Fork to build it into a program that can consistently go after a state championship.
Well, when I left Independence, I actually left in retirement. I retired from Independence from the North Carolina hospital system, and so I'm also drawing retirement, so I came across state line. And what I found in Dutch Fork was a little gold mine. It's an isolated community. It's got great parental involvement. It's got good little leagues where kids are really interested in athletics and all sports, particularly football. And we found a good foundation here. Coach Kimbrey had preceded me and had done a great job here, but some things had gone a little bit stale, and what I saw was, as I said, a gold mine, and players interested, players want to have a winner, and the administration was wanting a winner and willing to let me hire the coaches that I needed to do it. And there was also an awesome field house. I don't know if you've ever seen our field house, but we have we'll probably rival Valdosta's if you've seen it. Our field
I've seen
house
that one. I haven't seen yours. I got to get up there, but I know what you're talking about.
We've got a beautiful weight room, a beautiful presentation room. We've got a turf field. Our locker room leads right out onto our turf field. We got all our players in last block weight training. So all the key ingredients were there to develop a winner and develop it quickly, which is what we did.
Mm-hmm. You sure did. Tom Knotts is the NHSCA High School Football America National Coach of the Year, Dutch Fork. 4th straight South Carolina championship. They'll bring 40 straight without a loss into the 2020 season. And Coach, I guess a good place to start now with the kids and some of the kids that did some things is it was a special senior class, obviously. Leaving without doing anything other than winning championships, that's what kids dream about, right? So tell me a little bit about this special senior class this year.
We always have a strong senior class here at Dutch Fork every year. A lot of guys have to work to play their final year, but we were led this year by our quarterback, Ty Olenchuk. He's been a 3-year starter. He's a baseball commit to Clemson University, and he's a baseball pitcher, threw 94 miles an hour this summer. But he's been a 3-year starter for me. Never lost a football game, fantastic arm, can make all the throws. But he had a great supporting cast also. Jalen Hyatt was our wide receiver. He's fast. And I like to say he's not just fast; he's world-class fast. He's probably the fastest guy in South Carolina, and we'll see him on Saturdays at Tennessee. And he made the game-winning catch this past championship game. He just did a great job and came a long way for us. We also got a bunch of other good high school football players. We had Trey Irby, who played on the defensive side of the ball and was just a dominant nose guard for us. But at only 5'10", 260, was overlooked by a lot of the big guys, and he's going to go to a 1AA type school, and he'll have a great career, just a great interior lineman. So we had a great supporting cast, a lot of guys that could play. But you might be surprised we're not just loaded with D1 talent. We're loaded with a lot of good high school football players. And we're always trying to promote our players, but for one reason or another, they're always saying they're not big enough, they're not fast enough, they're not tall enough. So we just make do with what we got and hope that our kids can land something in the future for their college careers.
Yeah, well, I think we found out that people that hand out 5s and 4 stars and all that sometimes don't get it completely right. You're playing the beautiful game of high school football. Coach Knott is the head coach of the year for us at the NHSCA and High School Football America. And you mentioned some of the players there. I want to talk a little bit about your staff too. We've got tons of coaches that listen to this show, and I think one of the biggest questions that I get when I'm out there is, what are some of the tips when you're putting together a staff? Because, you've been around a long time, right? When you started, you didn't have to work 365 days a year, right? It was a little bit shorter and all that. So the guys getting into the profession right now, what are some of the things you look for when you put together your staff? And tell me a little bit about the staff that you have there at Dutch Fork.
Well, when I was a young guy, I did it all. I did the weight training. I did the offense. I did the defense. And I started back in the 80s, so I don't know but one way, and that's balls to the wall and, year-round working, and that's what I've always done. When I came here, for 4 teams, we have 22 coaches, and I delegate 4 of those to the middle school program. So it's middle school, 9th grade team, JV, and varsity. And we basically do the JV and varsity together, so my people are all interchangeable. That would be a must for any program that I went to. And a lot of coaches don't like it. Sometimes I lose coaches this way, but we also coach the JV game on Thursday night. My defensive coordinator calls the defensive plays, and for the most part, I call the offensive plays. So, for any coach out there wanting to develop a program, you got to take an interest in your younger kids because, obviously that's your future. And we had a couple of injuries this year and in past years where we were able to move a JV player up and he fit right in because he knew our system, he knew the requirements, he knew the things to do, and we were able to successfully do that. The first championship we won here, I like to share this. The first championship we won here, that previous year, 8 of the guys that were on the starting offense in championship year had started for my JV team. Oh. And that's how competitive we had become. But that's also our philosophy. And a lot of times I'm rolling the dice on Friday night hoping that, we don't get an injury because sometimes we'll only dress 40 people for a Friday night game, and that leaves us with, no two-way players or 1 or 2 possibly. So, that cuts you thin. And so sometimes your right tackle is also you move some guys around. You might have 1 or 2 linemen as backups, but that I might go into a game with. So we kind of roll the dice sometimes. And you have to get kids to buy into that kind of thing because you're asking them to play on Thursday night where the only way they're going to get better is with experience. Mm-hmm. And, they have to play to get better. And our JV program, needless to say, is pretty awesome. And our kids have all bought into that. They don't see it as a slap in the face to have to play on Thursday night. I think they rather enjoy playing with the pressure Thursday night, but they also get used to, to playing in our style of coaching. So that would be a big thing. But you also got to have, in today's game, you got to have enough coaches. I always say, if you're not the offensive coordinator, you better have an offensive coordinator and an O-line coach. And then you better have if you're not the defensive coordinator, you better have a defensive coordinator and a secondary coach. So you better have 4 quality coaches on your staff, and then hopefully the rest will be young guys or energetic go-getters that'll do what you want them to do. I don't care what kind of experience they got, as long as they'll listen to what I'm saying and buy into our program. I can give them the experience that they need if they'll just listen.
Yeah, that's a trait that's being lost nowadays. But guys out there, Coach Knotts, Coach Knotts is 4.15.64. Now you got a tie after that Mallard Creek win this year, but he knows a little bit about what he's talking about there. There's no doubt about that. Talk a little bit about the building of the program. You certainly have it where it is now, but talk about, and you probably had this at Independence too, you've put a bullseye on that chest, right? The kids know year in and year out, Dutch Fork, the Silver Foxes are going to be a team that people gun for. What are some of the things that you do in the off season to get these kids to know that, hey, it's high school football, a lot of guys graduated, 2020's around the corner, but last year's championship does nothing for you?
Well, I'll tell you what, the first thing we did was we opened the weight room over Christmas, and we had over 30 guys in the weight room, and that's special. It also takes special coaches to get there on their time off. So we had the weight room open on Christmas. We say our foundation is the weight room. We do a lot of lifting in there, but we also do some character building. We do speed training. We do agility. So we have all our players in last block weight training, and so we're able to keep up with them not only physically, but keep up with them in the classroom, the things they're doing. We work on discipline if they got issues. We got special ways that we can straighten out players that teachers can't do. So we're a big help around the school. Also, we got our hands on them last block. So I think that's just a real important part. Now, we ask all our guys to play a spring sport, whether it be baseball or run track. And then we do have, our state has spring ball in May where we can have 10 full contact, full gear practices in May, and you can use the whole month of May as spring ball. And I think that's real important. And then we're very intensive in the summer. So we're a year-round program. We work Monday through Thursday in the summer, in the mornings, and we take Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, and come back and do it again the next Monday. So but, it takes dedication to do this, and it's not for every place. Every place doesn't want something like what we've got, and as some people have always said, when it gets to this point, you got to feed the monster, and we know we got a target on our back, but we relish it. I mean, what would life be if you just walked around and everything was easy? And we like the fact that people are gunning for us. Every game that people play us, it's a Super Bowl for them. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can tell how hyped up they are, and it's their Super Bowl. Just like we're going to play IMG next year, Labor Day weekend in Atlanta. We're already talking about IMG. That's the place that all these 5-star and 4-star guys go, and lost 1 or 2 games in 4 or 5 years, and just got great athletes. Well, we're going to challenge ourselves by playing IMG. So we're not scared to challenge ourselves to play, whoever's necessary.
Yeah, I know you went over to Allen in Texas several years ago. I'm looking forward to that. I'm based in Atlanta. I don't even know if you know that, but I'm looking forward to seeing you guys knock heads there, IMG and Dutch Fork. That'll be a good one. 4 straight titles, 40 games without a loss coming into it. Tom Knotts, the 2019 High School Football America NHSCA Coach of the Year. A couple more questions before I let you go, Coach. As you mentioned, you came around in the 80s. I'm a kid from Pennsylvania. Well, I'm 60 now, but I was a kid at one point in Pennsylvania, and we still have some of those guys there with those 4 decades. And I think you guys are becoming dinosaurs. But in the championship game against Dorman, you got to go to head-to-head against another guy that had 400 wins, and Dave Gutshaw. What was that like to match wits with a couple of old guys that have won about 800 games between them?
Oh, I know Coach Gutshaw. He's one of the best, and everybody will tell you in South Carolina, his teams are so fundamentally sound. Their offensive line always looks like it's choreographed. It looks like a high school cheer competition the way they do it. Everybody's stepping in sync, and it's just a great coach. I know we've broken his heart twice. We beat him in overtime both times, and both games have come down to the very last play. Through a tight end screen to go for 2 points to beat us 2 years ago, and then we threw a fade in overtime after they kicked the field goal in the first possession. We threw a fade to win the game on a walk-off win, which is the first of my career, so it's pretty awesome. But we've been coaching a long time, and with you can't replace experience. And I learned something new every year, and I would just encourage any coach, any high school coach, to keep an open mind about what you're doing. You got to be true to who you are and what you do and what you know, and just don't watch too much TV and try to do what anybody's doing on TV. Coach up what you know. I've basically been an 11 personnel coach all my life, and got some variations with it now, but I stick with what I know. I let my defensive coordinator run the show. Nick Pelham is awesome. I mean, he's a 3-4 guy, and I am not a 3-4 guy, but I let him do it. And we've held opponents to less than a touchdown a game probably for 3 straight years. So far they hadn't figured him out. He's a very smart guy. He'll come up with some new wrinkles for next year. I'm just excited to see what Nick Pelham brings for our defense next year.
If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Before we let you go here, I think the listeners out there would love to know if you can compare and contrast what you've done here at Dutch Fork compared to the 7 championships in North Carolina at Independence. Of course, there was that big old 109-game win streak. Is it fair to ask you to compare and contrast your career at the two places, and is anything more special than the other?
I don't know. To win 109 games in a row is, when I look back, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. It means in 109 Friday nights, there wasn't a Friday night where we slipped up. I always hate to see an inferior team beat a superior team. And I can say we might not have always been superior, but a lot of times we were superior, but we never slipped up. We won 109. I mean, that's hard to wrap your mind around in football, that you can win that many games. And we were very cognizant of De La Salle's win streak. And and I heard some national criticism that we weren't playing a national schedule. So dumb me went out and scheduled Cincinnati Elder that had Kyle Rudolph as a tight end, and he called a 2-point conversion that beat us, that ended our 109-game winning streak. So that might have gone on, but we actually set our goal for allowed us to was 153. I think it was 153, but we like to say at Independence we got the longest public school winning streak in the country. We're a public school,
fair enough,
as opposed to De La Salle being a private school, and that's two different worlds now. We get, we only get the students that we get, and now we do get some move-ins, but there's no active recruiting or anything like that. Just some parents choose to bring their kids here.
Yep. So
it's hard to compare the two. This has been fun here because at Dutch Fork, the years previous to coming here, they had been 2-9, and they really were at rock bottom. The kids had no confidence. They hadn't really no self-esteem, and I walked around and I saw were football players walking around. So, I mean, and I just went to work saying, we're going to work, we're going to win, and you're either going to do it my way or you can continue to what you're walking around now. And I didn't take no for an answer, and we did pretty well the first year, and we built on that first year, and within 2 years we were winning state championship. So been a lot of fun. Both were halves of fun. Every school I've been, I was at Hardy in Charlotte, the smallest 4A school in the state in the 80s, and I was at a West Charlotte, which was rich with tradition in the 90s. And both of those 10-year runs, 9-year runs, whatever I was, those were fun. Usually I leave a place after 9 or 10 years because it's harder to stay on top of the mountain than it is to get up there, believe me. You got to continue to be innovative and creative and find ways to motivate kids. Success is a double-edged sword. People will find that have been successful gives you a lot of confidence, and success breeds success. But man, there's also that other side to that. People get complacent and they think that it's easy, and they forget how hard we worked initially. And back in December and January to get ready for for the task at hand. So some people can take success and it makes them soft. We're constantly battling that, and we're constantly trying to keep the kids motivated. And right now I'm in the process. I've got T-shirts printed up with just a big 5 on it, and we give the T-shirts out here second semester, and they'll wear that T-shirt every Monday, and I'll just remind them that we're going for 5 straight, so we'll put it right out there that we'll be in the hunt for 5.
Yeah, and I know you're going to deflect on this question, which is how it feels to win a national honor. You've won a lot of Coach of the Year awards, but before you answer that one, what I really like you to answer, and you mentioned it with the elder loss and all that, so you're 4-15-64 with a tie. I bet you remember each and every loss and probably forgotten quite a few of the wins. Is that true?
Yes, exactly true. Exactly true. Matter of fact, I have the championship losses. My son asked me the other day. It's been a month since we played. He says, how many championship games have you lost? And I said, I think I've been. Darn, I'm like 12-5 or something like that. I've lost 5 championship games. He scrunched up his face like he bit a lemon, and I thought, man, this is my own son. We're talking about championship games, and that's what happens at places, like this. When in every place where we won a bunch, eventually people start thinking, man, you lose a championship game, you're just not very good.
Yeah.
And, the reality of it is, in championship games, my teams are 12-5. That's not acceptable to me. I mean, it's just not acceptable, and so I'm going to make it 13-5 next year if I have anything to do with it. But there'll be a lot more people than me have something to do with it.
Yeah, so, that's for sure. But your son will be better and feel good about that. Go ahead, take a swing at the one. I know you're going to probably deflect it and put it out, but how does it feel to get an honor where you're Coach of the Year in the nation?
Well, I never even think about that kind of thing. Unless you tell somebody, I probably won't even say anything around here about it. But it's awesome. It's good that what's good about it is high school football is supported nationally. There's nothing better than high school football. I mean, it's such a wholesome. Kids are developing. They're wide-eyed. They're eager to work for the most part, and it's just the fact that it's recognized nationally, and there's an honor like this, and I feel. It's a lot of people went into me winning this thing. So I can't thank enough people for allowing me to get, to this position at 63 years of age. I'm still in good shape, and I'm still having fun. I'm still winning championships. So I can't thank, all the administrators and all the teachers and all the coaches and players who've helped me out and who've contributed, who worked hard for me and with me. I just can't. I can't say enough how thankful I am for where I am. And I appreciate y'all for what you do.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. And one of the things that we've built our reputation on is, promoting what you guys do. Obviously, the kids get the W's for you, but it takes a special type of person to be doing this for, I don't know how many, it's 4+ decades, I guess, with you. I don't know, you're at 5 right now, but we're honored to have you as a Coach of the Year, and best of luck. I look forward to seeing you guys when you come here to Atlanta.
All right. I look forward to it.
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks,
right,
Coach. Bye-bye.
Knotts is the second coach from South Carolina to receive the Coach of the Year honor in 2008. The late John McKissick of Somerville High School, who passed away in December, won the award. McKissick is America's all-time winningest high school football coach with 621 victories. Go to highschoolfootballamerica.com to see all 21 of our past winners. And again, congratulations to Coach Tom Knotts, an outstanding career that's still going very, very strong. Big game coming up, as you heard, in 2020 against IMG Academy. That'll be a good one. That's today's High School Football America podcast. I'm Jeff Fisher.